Hey everyone, Steve here. We've got some pretty cool mail today. Just a complete full binder chock-a-block. Chock-a-block is kind of a word in Australia. So you say chock-a-block when it's like absolutely packed in. So it's chock-a-block filled with hundreds and hundreds of old back hollows. So I'll talk about the purchase throughout the thing. I'll give my thoughts on it. Is that a hollow bleed Charizard? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Before we start, is that a hollow bleed base set Charizard? Oh, baby! Woohoo! Damn. Oh, that condition. What the hell? Yo, we actually didn't get scammed. That's a first. Sorry, this is like completely unscripted. That's amazing hollow bleed on this Charizard. All right, let's put it back in the sleeve. Yeah, let's put this off to the side. And I just did notice also, look at this dark Charizard compared to the one next to it. I mean, what? It's so dark. It's like the dark red Charizard, they might as well call it. Oh, these cards have been here for so long. Wow, look at the saturation difference. That's actually amazing. That looks so good. Does this have Hollow Bleed too? That would just break my... Wait, what does it? Or is that just dust I saw? Oh no, that's just dust. Wow. Okay, put those to the side. Sorry about that. I'm a bit excited. That's crazy. So, this purchase, roughly every card is around $6 each. That's what I priced it at. I don't know how many there is. There's like 600 or 700. There might be less, honestly. I bought this like a month ago and I've been meaning to make this video for a while, but been very busy, so apologies about that. I have a little bit of a hiccup situation going because I just had some lightly sparkled water. So if you've ever had sparkling water, it kind of gives you a little bit of bubblies in your chest sometimes. So here we go. And by me saying this cost me $6 per card and I'm showing you all the seemingly good ones straight away, just remember there are going to be ones that aren't going to be any good. By the way, look at this binder. It's absolutely destroyed. I love it. How good's childhood? So we got here page 3. Some really nice ones. Now, I'll talk a whole bunch in this video. I'll probably talk so much I'll talk your ear off and you'll just dislike the video and leave me. But that's fine. Whether you watch the video all the way through or not, I'll still be here speaking to myself, unfortunately. But don't worry about that. There's this wonderful, wonderful old back hollows. You know, I think generally I do like this era. The first era, like the base to Neo kind of cards before E-Series came in. You know, most of the holo cards, in Japanese at least, are really nice. I mean, I obviously have, as you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, look at this Nidoqueen. It's absolutely like bent in half. I think that's on the card. No, it's not. Oh, yeah, that is on the card. It's from like the sleeve bending or something. So as you know, I dealt with Wizards of the Coast cards, mainly for my first 3 or 4 years. I didn't even touch anything else. It was strictly just English Wizards of the Coast cards. And then you would be thinking, but Steve, you only do Japanese. Well, yeah, that's how I started. Just with the bare bones, very start, you know, same stuff everyone else does. It's just how it is. Completely normal. I wasn't that experienced. You know, it took me a while to learn. There wasn't as many places you could go to learn a lot of things about a whole bunch of different cards. And even like Japanese, even in the collecting communities I was in, it was kind of shunned. So that goes to show, don't try to only stay in one collecting community or one, like wherever you are, whether you are a reseller or whether you are a collector mainly or anything. Try to go to multiple things. If you're a reseller also and you're in only strictly reselling communities, you're not going to make it because none of those guys have any idea what they're doing, to be honest. So I'm very sorry if that offends you, but it's true. So I know collectors that run rings around you when it comes to buying and selling. So I think if you want to be the best Pokemon reseller you possibly can be, unfortunately, you're going to have to suck it up and actually enjoy the stuff and collect it and keep it for a long time and cherish it and understand what it means to be a collector. But sorry about that rant. But these cards, they're awesome. So obviously, every time you see one of these cards, $6, $6, $6, $6, $6, $6. I don't know how much it was all up. It's like 3,600 or 4,000 or something like that. There's 2 binders. Show the other one. And, you know, don't worry. I'm going to get these hands. I'm going to go deep. I'm going to look at some of the card conditions. And I'll show you what it really looks like. And don't be thinking $6 each. Wow, we got so many cards. They grade so high. Oh my God, they're going to be so amazing. I'm going to show you the reality of buying cards that are 25 years old. It is not pretty. You do not get away with much these days when it comes to buying and selling. It's, you know, these collections have always come up. You can find old back hollows for like as low as $1. Even on eBay, you can buy like multiple for like $1 under each when people auction them off or they put them in lots or whatever like that. Especially in damaged condition. It's not a hidden secret to find an old back holo. I mean, there's like tens and thousands, hundreds of thousands of each of these. There might even be millions of some of these base set ones to be honest. So, is that holo bleed right there? No, I think it's just damaged. So we'll go through the holos. We'll go through everything. Wow, I really wish they would bring this pattern back just for like the basic holos in the sets. I think they would look so oh my god. Did you see that or was it just me? Look at this bad boy. Wow, Fossil has pretty much the most common holo bleeds. I just think holo bleeds are awesome because it adds an extra layer of like coolness. But yeah, Fossil in my experience has the most common amount of holo bleeds. And then it's base set, and then I haven't really seen that many jungle ones personally. I've seen some like listed for sale, but other than that, pretty cool. A bunch of Game Boy Dragonites, normal Dragonites, Shiny Muses, good to see. So I bought these pretty much sight unseen. You know, I pretty much in my mind, I say pretty much a lot, don't I? In my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, all these cards are going to be damaged, no doubt. No one just has this many cards, and none of these are going to be gem, let alone even near mint. I wasn't even expecting near mint. The fact that we got this Charizard at the start here, and I just like pulled it out, and it was actually good condition, is mind-blowing to me. It's actually mind-blowing. You know, that's actually a rather, like, in my opinion, that is a rather expensive card. So I think this first binder was Gen 1, and the second binder seems to be his Gen 2 binder. That makes a lot more sense to me now. So he has a bunch of Meganiums, and they all look kind of suspicious. So we got all these ones from the Neophile set. They don't have a rarity mark, so they're from like a promo kind of thing. And then this one is just from the packs. So he's got 9 Neo Genesis Meganiums. He's got 3 of the Typhlosion, and 2, and he's got a bunch of these. See, these ones, they're all like he's facing that way. They're from the Neophile set, and when he's facing this way, it's from the Neo Genesis booster box. This is another one. People do think this is holo bleed sometimes. Also, there is a version of the Pichu that does have an error. The text box is like a different, I don't know what it is, but like the text box is like longer or shorter on the error version. I know there's a difference. I don't know too much about it because I don't really care too much about old cards, but I do love these cards, the way they look, but I don't like go super deep into them because I just, the modern stuff and the mid-era stuff and XY, black and white, all that stuff, I like that way, way, way more. So put that picture to the side, maybe we'll find it. So people do think this is a holo bleed with the way the holo comes up, but it's not actually. It's just like a, I don't really know what to call it, like a holo staining effect. It's really common on these old backs, so you can see it here. It's pretty cool. You can see one of those half Pokeball kind of things that they have, but the holo doesn't go through. It's not a bleed, so in my opinion anyway. So we've got these 4 Pichus. They all have the same text, so none of those are any different to each other. There's a few other ones. There's a Typhlosion that has a plus mark here. It's quite rare. That's what it was supposed to be. See how this has 60x, or 60 times, 40 times, sorry. This is supposed to be 60 plus. So, you know, that's another error there. There's lots of little errors in all the Wizards of the Coast and Japanese old back. Much less in the Japanese, but way more on the English side. But yeah, so we've got the Hamachans, Slow King, I love that one. Wow, I just love looking at these. I love looking at these so much. So I'll finish this up and then we'll go down because I really am keen. I bought these binders and I put them on the shelf and I was like, that's a separate video. That's way too much to show on the mail day. So nothing left. So all this, 2 binders, $4,000. Probably. Let's just round up to 4,000. Honestly, it might even be, it could have been a little bit more, to be honest, but I can't remember. But 4,000, great inventory for my single store. The single store is Kimi Cards, by the way. A lot of people ask Kimi's Cards. It's run by my partner, so. Our old back cards have been selling quite well lately, and it's just something I didn't really stock up on that much over the years. And I remember back in the day, man, if I just bought just a little bit, I swear, a lot of people ask me like what my biggest regrets are, my worst deals. This is going to sound super FOMO-like, but like, man, my worst deals that I've ever made is simply me not buying more. And, you know, that sounds like I'm trying to shill or I'm trying to, like, do something crazy. But, man, I'm just... Oh, I can't explain it. Like, I honestly can't explain it. I just wish I bought more in any time. And even right now, I feel like in 6 months' time, I'm going to have the same problems. And there's so much noise in the world. And there's so much noise in the communities and everything. I'm just going to pull out every card I want to look at. And then I'm going to sit down and we're going to go in nice. Because I'm sure you guys don't want to see, like, the Yanmas or the Butterfrees, whatever that Pokemon was. So it seems like this is recently sleeved, because these aren't that bad condition sleeves. Maybe they are. You can kind of tell how long ago. Yeah, that's been sitting for a while. That's not recently sleeved. Not a big deal. So stuff like this, when I'm calculating in my head, like when I'm buying a collection like this, 10 minutes has passed. I can start giving up some trade secrets because all the stonkers and people that just want to learn instantly on 1 minute, they're all gone. So when I'm pricing something up like this, I'll pretty much find any card that's over, like, for this binder, that a lot of it's raw and it's all going to be ungradable. But I'll get something like this and I'll go, okay, how many cards are above $25? And then let's just say the purchase was, let's just say it's $4,000 for the sake of easy math. And then I find all the good cards. So these will be good cards like Dark Blastoise, Blastoise, CD Promo Blastoise, Charizards, Venusaurs, Dark Charizard, stuff like that. You guys know the good cards. I mean, if you've been doing this for more than, you know, a month, you kind of recognize what a good Pokemon is or what a good card is. And even base set Raichus are kind of a good card sometimes. But, you know, we've got the Dark Raichus. A good card in my mind is something that sells for significantly more than something else in the same collection. So a collection like this, a good card would be a base set Charizard. But if you have, like, someone shows you a full set of PSA 10 X and Y, something rather, whatever set you want to think of, great looking cards, whatever, full set of PSA 10 first edition base set, and they want to sell it to you, and then they have like a random Neophile Charizard in there. The Neophile Charizard's not going to be one of the good cards. So does that make sense? Like, you're trying to calculate how many good cards are in there, and I think in this collection, I don't have the number on top of my head, but I'm going to go through, I'm just going to pull them all out. I really think Light Arcanine is a good card when it comes to Wizards of the Coast era. So what do we got here? We got nothing really too crazy. Make sure whenever you buy old back base set cards, you always look for the no rarity ones, because that's the good stuff. So these are pretty good, like Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon, but they're not really on the level of good I'm looking for. So Gengar, definitely a good one. Ugh. This is going to be a long video, people, so stay here. Let's do some math together. Let's get into my brain. Let me help you understand buying the collections and pricing it out. Obviously, for me, if you're someone that obviously likes buying and selling too, I would not recommend a purchase like this. It's fine for me because I can buy it, you know, put it on my shelf for a few weeks. I can, you know, I'll make the video. I can take them all out of the sleeves. We can condition check them. We can list them slowly over time. We can add them to our listings. I already have like almost every single one of these cards already. You know, there's very few cards in here I don't already have listed for sale. So if you're the kind of like buyer and seller that is looking for stuff like this, and you already have it, if you already have it, you're not even watching this video because you're better than me. But you know, if if you already have some stuff, it's not that necessary to like constantly try to buy the same stuff you already have. But you know, the good stuff like the Dragonites, Charizards, and everything, all that will always sell. Like Fossil Dragonite and Game Boy Dragonite, some of the most popular cards. Honestly, I would put like Game Boy Dragonite and Fossil Dragonite above base set Blastoise. I would put it above base set Venusaur. I mean, they're just so popular. They always sell. I've probably had almost like 1,000 Game Boy Dragonites over time. And I would classify that as a good card. I even think Dark Dragonite's a good card, but I'm not going to pull that out for now. Fossil Mew is definitely a card I've sold for 25. Also, when I say 4,000 and 25, every price in this video is AUD. My apologies. It gets really hard when I'm like, I buy them in yen, and then there's US buyers and there's US watchers. And when I say 6 AUD, that's roughly $4 US. And 4,000 AUD is like 2,800, 2,600 US dollars. So hopefully that helps you. So the Ancient Mew, it's Definitely a good card. Even damaged. Even damaged. That one's good. And remember, don't shun damaged cards. I mean, no one's good and too good for a card. Let me be honest. I've sold cards that were completely destroyed, and I just go, okay, they're destroyed. Just put them up for $3.99 plus shipping. Don't ever feel bad that you sell a card for $3.99 plus shipping. Ooh, Umbreon, Neo Discovery, definitely a good card. Dark Espeon, definitely a good card. Slide all over the place here. So it might take a while to get this going, but Neo Lugia's definitely. I'm giving you guys the full rundown. I mean, even if it takes 25, 40 minutes, 100 minutes, I'll do it. Fully explain everything. I think that is it. You could probably argue that Ho-Oh is a good card, but maybe we'll just take one for the sake of Ho-Oh collectors out there, and I don't want to crush their soul. So, before we buy this, because I already have the knowledge, this is the problem. I already have the knowledge of all the good cards, so I can make the calculated purchase quite easily. And these are all the good cards, so we'll count them up real quick. We've got 5. You can look at them while I count. 10, 15, 20. Look how damaged that one is. 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. We're getting there. I'm counting as best I can. So it's about 60, 62 good cards. Oh yeah, plus the ones at the start. That leaves us with these 65 good cards. And let me just put good cards. I'm saying that word 1,000 times. But these are the cards that identify that I can sell for over, over $25. Now, obviously, we got a few base set Charizards, some dark Charizards and stuff like that. It's so much more than $25. Like this, honestly, is probably like 200, like 150 to 200 Australian. Probably more. I don't even know if I'm going to sell this, to be honest, because this is an awesome Holo Bleed Charizard. And I might even grade this, because that is just sweet. And that's when it comes in. Sometimes you get lucky and you can find something gradable. But we're going to go looking through these cards soon. So the whole idea, I need a drink of water real quick. There we go. Man, sparkling water in a can, the best invention ever. So we've identified the good cards. So I calculated 65 that are $25 or more. So this brings the average cost of everything else down way low, because 65 times 25. Oh, let me do the math in my head. Man, so much math. At the end of the day, I'm getting destroyed. It's going to take me a while. Just give me a bit. So roughly around, give or take 1,600 or something like that. I don't know. I'm just averaging up to 1,600. I'm not that bad at math. I'm not going to lie. I can do quick maths, but at the end of the day, middle of the night, quick math is not really my strong point. So we're at around $1,600 just for the good cards. So I paid $4,000. So we imagine, okay, we got these good cards. I was happy to pay. These are removed. This is like a separate collection now. It's not even a part of this purchase anymore. So we're like, okay, we got these ones, or we bought all these good cards, $25 each. They sell fast. It's not a big deal. Maybe some of them we make only a very little bit. Like this Charizard probably only sell for like 50 or something. Venusaur's not that crazy. Maybe we get some good condition ones. Maybe we get lucky. But at the end of the day, we paid $1,600 for these cards and $2,400 for those cards. Hope you're with me. So it's $1,600 and $2,400. Now, all these cards have just been incredibly averaged down. So however many there was like 500, 600, or 700, something like that. Even if there was 500, if the average cost was like $6 at $4,000 collection, the average cost of every single one of these cards, all the little stuff, all like the stuff that's just like doesn't sell as fast, not as popular, and only sells for like $5 to $15 to $20 range up to the top. Especially when the stuff gets played, it gets a little bit harder to sell. So you sell for like $5.99 or $8.99 or $11 or something like that. The average cost of all these cards is way lower. And I'm much happier to buy these cards at $2,400 and these cards here at $1,600. Even though we bought all of it together. Like I bought everything together, But I've separated these in my mind. You know, these, like back in the day when I would buy something like this, or I would try to get some stuff like this, I would go through and get all the good cards out as fast as possible. Now I do like pretty much the complete opposite. But back in the day when I wanted to sell things fast, this is what I would do if you were someone that obviously doesn't have as much money or not as much capital, and you buy things like this, maybe on a lower scale. You get all the good cards out as fast as possible. You list them all as fast as possible. You try to get, you know, you try to be low list. You just try to move the stuff, get it sold, because it isn't difficult to find this kind of stuff, but you can just buy something else similar to this. It doesn't have to be all back hollows. It can be mid-error, or it can be some modern stuff that like maybe you get a good deal on something. It's whatever you find. The more time you spend sourcing, the more time you spend like price researching, and the more time you spend selling, that's the best thing I tell people about breaking even. It makes you a better seller when you break even. Like maybe these 4 alligators, they cost $4, and one of these is like completely damaged, and you sell it for like $3.99. No one would normally list a card for $3.99, like unironically list a card for $3.99. No one would do that. Like who wants to sell really low singles? I think the original series had way damaged cards. Way worse damaged cards. But no one wants to sell cards that low. But unfortunately, if you want to be a successful seller, you're going to have to put a little bit of effort in. You're going to have to sell a few cards. Maybe it's changed. Honestly, I'm an old-time kind of seller. Maybe I do things the old way. Maybe the way I do things is stupid. But I still do it to this day. I still sell $1 to $10 singles. It still works. People still buy the stuff. It's still great. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing stuff like that. I mean, if you go on my eBay, have a look at my profile, my storage. It says like Pokemon Steven, 33,000 items sold. It's not 33,000 PSA cards. I promise you that. I've only really sold like 8 to 10,000 PSA cards. Probably not even that much, to be honest. Like graded cards, not just PSA, like PSA and CGC all together, like 8 to 10,000 on eBay. It's a lot of my sales were like single cards when I was first going. I couldn't always, like, you know, afford to grade cards. Even at the start, the first 3 years, I couldn't afford. I didn't even know what grading cards was for the first 2 years. But when I eventually got it, was like so much, and it wasn't even worth grading a card. But you know, I'm gonna stop rambling. But like, let's look at this Flareon. Realistically, who's buying these? Like, who is buying this card? You would be surprised. This card, it doesn't really matter the condition. It's a Jungle Flareon from Japan, Japanese set. I'm kind of losing my train of thought here, but like, this was a lot worse condition than I thought it was going to be when I pulled it out, so it kind of doesn't justify my point here, but I would list this, you know, me and Kimmy would work together. We would choose like $1.99 damaged, to be honest. $1.99 damaged. Someone buys this off us, they're just happy with it, they see the Jungle Flareon. That not only is like, that this will sell for $2 plus shipping, by the way. But if I list this, that immediately in my brain I know, okay, Jungle Flareon is sellable at $2 damaged. So you see when I'm buying cards for a certain price, like $4 each, these are all these bad, like, not bad ones, but the ones that I don't identify as like good cards that are above $25 or more. All these ones, I just know in my mind, okay, worst comes to worst, I break even on all of these, and then I just make my profit out of all the good ones. Or we do completely opposite. I sell the good ones as fast as possible, get the bulk of the money back. Oop, hit the camera stand. Get the bulk of the money back, get like 70% back, and then I just sit on these for a while and just sell them for a little bit more, $5 plus shipping. I mean, eventually you would be surprised. I mean, spend time. If you want to become like a really good seller and a seller that's like, it's not just like, oh, I list like a few cards every once in a while. You actually want to make it a thing. You know, I don't think it's possible to really make a business out of selling Pokemon cards, even though like I do it. But like my circumstances are completely different to someone starting today with like a little bit or a lot less money, a lot less capital, a lot less knowledge, a lot less everything. This is perfect. This kind of stuff is perfect to do on the side. 2 hours a day, listing and sorting and arranging cards and doing all that stuff like 2 hours a day. You would be so surprised how far your collection can go in like just 2 hours a day. And it sounds like, oh, I don't want to do it 2 hours a day. I come home from work, Steve. I mean, you don't know what it's like. Like you work, you know, you're always at home doing your card stuff. It's much easier for you. Yeah, it is now. But back in the day, I would start work at 5 a.m. I would get home at 3, 4 p.m. And what's the first thing I did? Pack orders, walk over to the post office as soon as I finished, try and get there before they closed at 5 p.m. Then I would go home, I would list cards, I would sort my packages, I would do as much as I possibly can, go to sleep around 11, 12, wake up at 5 a.m., do it all again. I mean, it's not... If you want to get something out of something, it's not going to be easy. If it was easy, everyone would just have every card in the world and no one would even have any fun collecting, because collecting would just be not even a challenge because everyone would just have everything. So this is basically how I sort out collections like this in my mind. I'll buy it. Now these days, my idea is to, like, when we list these cards, we're not going to be lowest list. I'm sorry. Maybe we will be in Australia, but overall in the world, it's very unlikely many of these cards were going to be the lowest list, because I'm happy to hold on to this stuff. A lot of this other stuff that I can get pretty easily, we'll sell it quite low. We don't really tend to, like, because of the way we operate, we don't really tend to deal with like market price. I don't really ever stick to anything sort of a market price. I just stick to the margin. I stick to the margins that I buy stuff for. Unless I've held the stuff for a significant amount of time and the stuff's gone up in price, obviously I'll stick to a market price. I'm not just going to sell things I bought 5 years ago for whatever they bought them for 5 years ago. But stuff like this, I've averaged it out, you know. We sit down. Obviously, it's easier for me. I have someone to list the single cards. I have someone to organize them. But I also have an insane, crazy 3,000, 5,000 graded card inventory that I'm also dealing with and sorting with every single day. So we're getting to the end of this. I don't really want to take too much of your time. I really appreciate you watching. If you like stuff like this, I'll do it. I had a whole bunch of questions to ask at the start of the video that I was going to ask. So if you're in this video this far, I'm going to start doing whiteboard videos. So if you'd like to see stuff like that, let me know. I'm going to go to the local, I guess we call them office works here in Australia. I'm going to pick up a whiteboard. I really think it's going to be a good thing. And I think a whiteboard will be best for someone like me. I'm not really good at conveying things that well because I'm still getting used to talking. I'm still getting used to doing everything with my hand. But, you know, you've stayed around this long. Why don't we look at some of the conditions? Can I go down with this thing? Oh, I can. So got a new tripod stand. It's not too good for the desk, to be honest. So I ordered another one that's going to be just for my desk. But you've stayed around this long. I'll show you some conditions. I've already rambled so long. That was just a little bit of advice on buying and selling and how I justify the purchases and how I do it. It's not a short game. It's a very long game. It's a grueling game. You know. Wow, look at that Holo Bleed Charizard. That's absolutely nice. That's so amazing. Great condition too. I would never expect that from something like this. Even this Dark Charizard. Got a little bit bad corners, but see, this is played condition, but I'm really happy with this condition because you saw how bad those other cards were. It can definitely be worse. No, these always feel so like bad when they're played. So yeah, just let me know how you like this kind of video. I am always trying to improve, always trying to get better. So let's show off all these cards. Wow, Neo Lugia. Not gonna lie, this new camera is fucking amazing. New setup, you know, everything's getting better with my video making, and I feel like I'm probably getting better at talking sometimes, and maybe I should like go through some talking drills. Well, this Neo Lugia is actually like borderline near mint. I mean, this is like light played, probably. I would list this for played condition. I don't want anyone to buy this and get like kind of upset. It's not really like near mint, but it's pretty close. That would probably grade a PSA 7. It's the best you can ask for. So you got this Umbreon. Sold a few 10s of these. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is actually clean. What's going here? Wow, that's actually clean. Yo. Always going to be something wrong with something like this. Let me look at this in real. Wow, nice. So we got the Mew. Got the Nintendo era Mew. Pretty cool. Bit rough, but ancient Mew, Japanese. Great seller. Especially if you're in America. If you're in America selling singles, you have nothing to worry about. Plenty of competition, but the buyer pool in America is absolutely crazy. I mean, I'm always sitting up late at night thinking, wow, imagine if I was in America. Like, especially earlier on in my days. But, you know, this is... Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is like a near mint to mid shining Mew. Yeah, this card's gradable. This centering, though. Oh, my God. Okay. We're putting this one in the sleeve again. What is this? I mean, centering's not amazing for a normal card, but for a Shining Mew? Okay, we're putting that to the side. You know what? I'm going to sleeve up this. I'm going to re-sleeve this Umbreon because that's nice. See, this is what happens. You'll never really know unless you start buying. And I know that the Shining Mew and the Umbreon are worth sleeving and they're worth putting aside for grading because I've sold graded copies of them, and that's just how it is. It's just a consistent learning curve. You never stop learning. And like, wow, nice Fossil Mew. It's got a little bit of edge over there, but very little elsewhere. Very nice. It is a learning curve, definitely. But the thing is, you relearn the same things. Like this Game Boy Dragonite, when I started, 2015, 2014, somewhere around there, like I really got into selling, like personally around like 2016 is when I really started like popping off, I guess. And not popping off, I wasn't doing crazy. I mean, my 2016 sales were like 15,000 in 1 year, which is still an amazing amount. But like compared to now, you know, cards are so expensive and everything, the prices are so much higher and everything's so much more stonky or whatever. But I would buy Dragonite Game Boy Dragonites for $1 back then. I would buy lots of like 50 on eBay for $1. Look at this Dragonite fossil. This card is damaged, but I promise you, I could list this for like, this would be like a $4.99, or I think $4.99, maybe $3.99. And someone will buy that. It will be the lowest listing fossil Dragonite in the world, and someone will buy it because that's just how it is. People love this stuff. People collecting binders generally don't care too much about condition when it comes to old stuff. They know the good condition stuff's expensive. They just want to get every card. You know, maybe they'll get a placeholder. They'll buy it for $3 or $4. Wow, look at this one. It's completely damaged. I love selling damaged cards. It's awesome because like you don't have to work too hard, and you don't like. I'm buying these with the premise that they're going to be damaged. I know they're going to be damaged. I'm not stupid. I've been doing this for a long time. So I'm not disappointed when they arrive and they're damaged. But because I've bought them before and I've tried to sell them, it's just like I'm doing with my non-holos, right? Which doesn't really seem to be working. But just like I'm doing with the non-holo grading, I'm pretty much the first... Oh, my belly just growled. I hope you didn't hear that. I'm pretty much like... I wouldn't say I'm the first person in the world to grade a non-holo card because I'm not. But to grade as many from like, I've got a Game Boy Dragonite and a Fossil Dragonite. To grade as many as I am from all the areas I am, to like open Heart Gold boxes and Soul Silver boxes, and to open Secret of the Lakes even, and Diamond and Pearl base, to open just as many boxes as I have and spend like $10,000, $12,000, $13,000 on like every card from Diamond and Pearl, Platinum, everything. It's, you know, and send a bunch of them to go grading, and, you know, to really put a lot of like stock and weight into it. There's plenty of sellers over the years that had the chance to do all this. They could have done it all. Even before grading was a little bit, grading used to be like $8. You can probably still sell those cards for like $20 plus shipping back then, you know. But it's, I don't want to say I'm one of the first to grade non-holos, but to do it on the scale currently right now, I'm probably one of like the biggest sellers of like Japanese non-holo cards. And it's not like a flex because no one else is doing it. This Gengar is beautiful, by the way. Centering's a bit off, but it's not a big deal. But this is definitely a $25 plus card. Double swirl on the top there, I think. Is that a double swirl? Nah, maybe not. But yeah, it's but that's the thing. It's all learning and experience. I don't know it's possible, but you know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and be like, don't grade any non-holo cards. I have sold lots of non-holo cards in PSA 10, but I've also graded, like, I think I've got back 3,300 so far. Non-holo cards. I got around 2,100 10s and like 1,200 9s, I think. Does that sound about right? I think that's overall. I think that's all the cards, not just non-holos, maybe. I think non-holos in particular, I think are around like 1,200 to 1,500 non-holos graded so far. And there's like 600 non-holo 9s. So it's not a very good rate, to be honest. I'm getting destroyed on non-holos. And I'll probably end up breaking even in like 6 to 12 months, maybe, if they even sell. That's a really good condition Dark Raichu too. I didn't even mention that, but that's so nice. These cards are in way better condition than I thought, because I thought they were all going to be damaged. So this guy did a good job. I hope you enjoyed these cards. That's what they were meant to be for, playing and having fun. Oh, just looks great. But I think I'm going to leave it there. You know, not much to say. I don't just want to milk the video for no reason. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe these will pop up in another video. Oh, do you want to see the Charizards real quick? I'll show you the rest of the Charizards. I hope I recorded this in 60 FPS. That would be really, really lame if I didn't do that. I should have checked. It looks like 60 FPS, to be honest. So I'm going to go through this. Played. Like light played. Damaged. And played. That's not too bad. Could be much worse. I'm happy. I hope you had a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't go on any tangents and I didn't like finish off sentences. I'm trying not to do that kind of stuff. Getting better at speaking. Enjoy the rest of your day, to be honest. Have a great day. Make sure you dislike the video for me being a whale and I don't share any secrets and I buy too many cards and I gatekeep everything and all this other stuff. So have a great day. And I don't really have another wisdom, to be honest. I'm just going to end the video randomly while I'm speaking.